Plastic model builders, welcome back. This is the F-102A Delta Dagger. This is part 1 of our movie. If you didn't see the box break, go back and watch that. If you feel like it, it's whatever. Here I am watching my parts. I do advise you to watch the entire movie because there are certain things about this model that need attention to detail, and I show them throughout this whole movie, so it's just good to watch the whole thing. Here we are throwing in all of our sprue trees, as you can see, 4 or 5 of them, and of course the canopies. There it is. Toss it in like butter. Wash them, rinse them, make them look pretty. It's some good model making madness. Anyway, we're going to start by cutting out our engine right here and the afterburner and rear inside of the engine. You see that's the outside of it right there, the afterburner section, and then there's the inside that you would see inside of the plane. We are going to put that in. We're going to cut out this fuselage first. You see I'm flipping it around there because you got to use the long knife to do this. Maybe you cut yours out differently. I don't know. This is how I did it. Here's the wheel well, the front wheel well there, and of course the cockpit, cutting those out. Here we are going to put in this afterburner. Put your glue along there. It's got a little registration notch right there. That way you know where the placement goes for this. Stick that into the engine, and of course you got some little areas right here, a little slot, and this is where that inside of the engine goes. Stick that in there. Now here are the inside tail area fins. I don't remember what they are called, but they go on the rear of the plane where the engine comes out. These are going to get painted a nice titanium color. It looks good when it's done. I like it. They just kind of pop right on in there. They fit on that little groove that you see. So make that look pretty, especially as well. We know how you love doing that. Anyway, so we are going to paint this a titanium color. This is the inside of that engine. You see the afterburner and that inside there. Go all around it because it's got those grooves in there. And of course, there it is. Do the other half. Make that look pretty as well. Some model making madness. I figured we'd say it twice this time. Get all those grooves. You know how this goes. So we're going to glue these two halves together. Go all around the entire engine. It fits together nicely. Always test your parts for fit. We already know that, but in case you didn't, I'm telling you anyway. So it just slides down. Press it together, let it dry, and we can put this into the plane. So to put this into the plane, it's got these little pins that are sticking up, and they fit into these boxes. So there are 3 of those, 2 on the underside and 1 on the top. Then here are the pins. Make sure you get the right sides for these pins when you put this in, based on how you're putting the model together. So you see they fit nicely. Cut out our chair because while that dries, we are going to assemble the cockpit chair. It's fun. I like it. Go all the way around in these areas that I'm showing you. You got the top of the seat, then these 2 little pins. This is where the chair is going to rest, right here. Do the other one, same thing. You got the pins here to fit into the boxes that we did before, and where the chair meets up, as well as the headrest. So put down the seat, put the other side in, and press it together and hold it firmly. Let it dry. There you go. That is the seat. Now we are going to go all the way around the edges of this plane in certain areas. You see the front of the nose, going around the underside of that, missing the slot because that's where the wheel well is going to fit. Going to get all along the top portion right here. Go all the way around that. We're going to go all the way around the end tail piece right here. This is smaller than the other half because this fits inside of the tail to try to hide seams. So you see going around the top, just go around the base. We're going to come around here where the engine meets, all this good stuff. Don't have to go all the way around. You stop basically right there where that engine is and then come to the other side because you got that little piece that is exposed. This is just where the halves meet. So we're just going to drop down the fuselage half here shortly. Going around this, like I said, this is where that tail goes. This fits fairly nicely. You're going to have to hold this together a little bit to dry. I use some tape. It's going to hide that seam fairly well. Once it's dry, we're going to take off the tape, and then we will basically take away the seams. At least try. I scratched mine away using this method, and after that, if it didn't hide too well, I also used a little bit of filler. So I'm doing that right here, and it just kind of slowly goes away as you just work it. That's how it goes. There it is, kind of vanishing. Alright, so we're going to cut out all the pieces that go chromate green or have chromate in them. So this is one of the wing halves right here. It's the underside of the airplane, as you can tell. Be careful how you cut these parts out. Go around the edges for later. Got these in the center. See, I'm using my little clamps there, clippers, whatever you want to call them. Drill out these holes ahead of time. Those are for the fuel tanks. Let's say William Tell, because I'm doing the wonderful version that is the dueling Deuces. Here is the turbine. We're going to cut that out. And you see I even marked on each little panel the numbers there in chromate green, so I knew which ones to cut out. That's how much chromate green stuff is here. I figured I'd show it all. These are the part of the doors. These are the other part of the bomb bay doors. There's two halves. It makes basically three sections in this model for the bomb bays. You have a right, middle, and a left side. These are the air brakes. Those are going to go green on the inside. This also goes for part of the bomb doors. Got your front landing gear, your missile rails. There's three of these. Those are the ones that are not deployed outwards. The version I did is not supposed to have missiles on there. I put them on by mistake. Don't beat me up. I'm sorry. These are for the extended missile rails right here, for the ones that pop out. They are static. They don't move. They just kind of stay in place. But there's also three in the front. So three in the front and three in the back. This is for the landing gear right here and the doors as well. So let's get out some of these small pieces right here. These are the rear landing gear doors. Cut those out. Got to paint the insides of those chromate green. These are the shocks for those and the actuators. Kind of strange how to put those in. You got to bend them and break them. Yeah, not the best in the world, but that's how they made it. So here's some more landing gear doors. Got to get those, of course. And then these are the bay doors that go on the outside of the fuselage towards each side. Two of those. Really small, so you got to figure out which side to put them on. They've got little marks to help line them up. Get rid of this little thingy right here, part of the molding. I didn't like it, but it was there. We're going to put these in on the plane, just not glue them. Clear off all your flashing, like you see me doing right here. We don't want any of that. Just check everything on the parts of the plane. Just about gone. There we go. Pretty. Alright, so pay attention here. This is what I'm talking about, things that you don't want to miss. These do not go together very well. They're hard to put together, so maybe you want to do it differently than I did. You've got all these little areas here that need to glue because they have to glue together each little bump. So put together the front, and you see these are not going to line up very well. Kind of painful, but maybe it's better to do them one at a time. This one especially doesn't line up. You see how it looks like once you put the front here. The back is not equal anywhere. Look at that, misaligned. They're all supposed to meet up and basically glue together. Problems, I know. So go along the whole edge of this that's recessed in, and we're going to take this little guy right here, put glue on the tips of our actuators, and kind of press this down and then press down the actuators so they get glued to this inside here. Part of this is all going to go chromate green on the insides. We're also going to put this little piece here. Make sure you have the right piece for the right side because they are a little different. One side is shorter than the other. Yes, fun stuff. You see me pressing down those little actuators again on the other one. That's what it's supposed to look like. And of course, this piece one more time. So now that the glue is dried on the rail, we are going to put the final piece in. See me putting glue there, just kind of fit it in between there and then twist it downwards so it meets with the back end and that piece meets with the front end, and hold those down and let those dry. Like I said, a weird fit, and it goes together very weirdly as well. They probably could have done it a lot better. We have to cut some plastic away here because my cockpit didn't fit quite right. So I'm going to eliminate right there, and we'll do that on the other side as well. You could see, compare the two, that slide piece just went away there. So anyway, that's a demo of the cockpit going in. We're going to take that out so we can paint, and there it is taken out. I'm going to paint the underside of the cockpit right here. That goes chromate green. That's where the wheel well is. This is the inside of the wheel well. You don't have to worry about the outside because you're not going to see any of that. That gets covered up, but we do have to get the inside. As you can see, not the easiest in the world to do. We have our landing gear, the rear door right here that gets painted. Do two of those. This is getting every angle of that. You know, you do have to make sure it looks good. After we get that, we are going to come and paint the front landing gear door, followed by these right here, which is the rear air brakes, and then more landing gear doors on the rear. This is a completed extended assembly of the missile rail. I'm going to get the front, top, and the sides. We'll let it dry, then turn it over and do the underside. And this is one that's not extended out. Those go in the back of the plane. So it's 3 in the back that look like that, and then 3 up front. Here is that weird looking accelerator, the shock absorber for the landing gear. We got our not our burner there, but our deal on the inside. See, I'm getting bad with names. Old age, we know how that goes. Inside of the rear wheel well. These pieces will pop up because they're just in place right now, so I can paint. That way I don't have to scrape away any paint, because that's how I do my models. I'm told maybe you can do them differently, I don't know. Either way, so you see all these little holes here where I'm painting chromate green. You're going to have to kind of clear the paint away from there for glue, depending on which glue you use, I guess. But then you have slots here, those are where the doors will go. We're painting the doors right here. As you see, I didn't worry about doing any finishing detail on that one area right up front with that small little V piece. I got lazy, I'm sorry. Don't beat me up. In here we have one rail, not a rail, but a door for the bay doors that goes on the outside of the plane. There's 2 of those. And of course this little light. You got to get the light because that goes on the front landing gear door as well. Now here's the underside of that missile rail I was talking about. That's the extended version. Getting the underside of that, and as you can see, just got to make sure you have it all painted. There's lots of little nooks and crannies. Touching up this, as you see, I pulled that out. Then you got to get the underside of that. So here it is. This is it. Thank you for watching. This is what's coming up in our next video. Painting stuff, putting stuff together. I'm excited. I know you're excited. So this is it. Thanks for watching. See you the next video in 2 weeks. Subscribe, comment, and like. Until next time, see ya.